What's going on, team? My name is Kelan Fielder, and I am the CEO and founder of Kelan and Associates, and it is my honor to be the leadoff speaker for the 7th Annual Asian Networks Convention and Expo. I want to thank the creators and organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity and for giving me this platform. And my assignment is very simple. It's simply to remind most of you and to inform some of you that you can do it. Yes, I'm talking to you. You can do it. I think we need to keep that in the forefront of our minds because everything in 2020 has been telling us that it cannot be done. Whatever it is, that's what 2020 has been telling us. This year has been telling us that we can't meet our goals because of the coronavirus. This year has been telling us that our business isn't going to survive because of the economic downturn. This year has been telling us that we're going to have to defer our dreams because we're currently living in a nightmare. And I just want to let you know that, yes, it is true that this year has not gone as planned. Yes, it's true that there is a long road ahead. Yes, it's true that there is a lot of uncertainty about the future. But if it can be done, you can do it. How do I know that you can do it? Because I'm doing it right now. And if I can do it, that means that you can do it. See, there was a time in my life where I allowed fear, failure, and negative thinking to make me feel like I couldn't get it done. If you were on the outside looking in, you would think that I may have had it all together. I have an amazing wife, and at the time we were expecting our first child. I pastored great churches. I had a few dollars in the bank. I was respected amongst my colleagues, and I was on the executive board of the corporation that I worked for. But on the inside, I was depressed. I was discouraged. I was losing myself each and every day. And let me be clear. I wasn't on the road to nowhere because I was in a bad situation or because I had made a ton of mistakes. I was on the road to nowhere because I didn't have a vision and a plan for my life. I was on the road to nowhere because I allowed fear to keep me from taking advantage of new opportunities because I failed at so many things in the past. I was on the road to nowhere because I allowed my mentality to deceive me into thinking that I needed better circumstances rather than needing a better attitude about the circumstances I found myself in. I was a professional at making excuses. And I was where I was in life because I didn't do anything to be anywhere else. But then I was invited to play basketball. I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday, and my good friend Joseph randomly asked me if I wanted to play ball with some of our friends. It had been a while since I had played, so I made sure that I did about 15 to 20 minutes of stretching. I got dressed, I grabbed a pair of Kobe's, and I drove 30 minutes to the gym. And it's crazy because the second I stepped foot into that gym, I knew I was going to get hurt. I mean, I obviously I didn't know what was going to happen, but I had this overwhelming feeling that something was going to happen to me that night. Something was just off. We start playing, and after playing a couple of games, I'm feeling soreness in both of my hamstrings. And I vividly remember saying to myself that I need to stop playing before I get hurt. And responding to myself, you drove 30 minutes, keep playing. So I keep playing. The third game comes around. And about midway through that game, I went up for a rebound, came down on someone's foot, felt a little twinge in my ankle. But I kept playing. And if I remember correctly, we lost that game. So I had to sit on the sidelines for a little while. And what I should have done was say my goodbyes, grab my things and gone home. But I wanted to play one more game. And providentially, I got picked up to play. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. One of my teammates made a turnover, and I was the closest person to make a play on the ball. So I turn around, I plant my right foot, I hear a pop. And as I'm falling down, I'm simultaneously turning my head to see who just kicked me in my ankle. There was no one behind me. I tore my Achilles. And let me tell you this, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I know it doesn't make any sense, so let me explain. Tearing my Achilles was one of the best things that ever happened to me because it forced me to slow down. It forced me to pull over. It forced me to figure out what was going on with me. And in that time, I was able to take a breather from work. I was able to get away from the hustle and bustle and came to the realization that I really was depressed, that I really did feel like a failure, and that I was living with a lot of regret. And it was during that time that I allowed my faith to pick me up. I began connecting with people who were where I wanted to be. I got a mentor. I started reading multiple books every month. I changed my relationship with money, something that a lot of us need to do. I went back to school. I began changing my attitude because you can't change your situation. You can't change your business. You can't change your life until you change your mind. And from that day until now, life hasn't been perfect, but I'm working on perfecting it. And for some of you, what an Achilles tear was for me, you need to allow the pandemic to be for you. And this is how you do it. I created what I call the 4A achievement plan. And you can take it, you can modify it. It's not exhausted. You can add to it, you can subtract from it. Whatever you need to do to it, I want to give it to you because I just want you to be able to accomplish your goals, to get to the next level in your life, the next level in your business, because we can't be stuck where we are right now. And here's the first A. The first A is that you need to accept where you are, because you'll never be able to get to where you want to be if you're in denial about where you are. Now, many of you are thriving. You're making the money, you're making the connections, and you're just here for continuing education, for tips, for advice on how to get to the next level. But there are also a lot of you who are struggling not only to keep your business afloat, but you're struggling to keep your life afloat. Let's be real. This pandemic has done a number on the entire world. So don't think that you're the only one struggling. But whatever condition you find yourself in, whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad or whether you're just doing average, you have to accept that that is where you are. You have to accept that things are not going to be as easy as they used to be. That your talent and your charisma aren't going to carry you like they used to carry you. That the world you were familiar with is either gone or it's going to take a while for us to get back. That you need a little bit more help than you're allowing yourself to put on. You need more training, or even you need a mental shift. Whatever you figure out, you have to accept it. But I also don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to beat yourself up because you're not where you want to be or where you plan to be. Stop worrying about the past and what didn't happen. Another thing you have to do is stop worrying about the future and what you hope will happen. Focus on accepting where you are right now, because the present is the only thing that we can control. And once you accept where you are, you can then make the choice to be somewhere else. And to be somewhere else, what you have to do is the second thing. You need to make the adjustments. Number one is accept. Number two is adjust. You're either going to thrive or barely survive based on the adjustments that you're able to make. The reason that we're meeting virtually right now is because instead of canceling, the ANCE leaders were able to make the adjustments and provide a virtual platform for this convention. See, we can't control what comes our way, but we can control how we respond to it. And 2020 is the year of adjustments. This year has been especially challenging for me because 3 years ago, I was preparing to leave my 10-year pastoral career and focus on my businesses and my new assignments. And this is how it was supposed to look. I was supposed to leave, take a week off to decompress and to do some vision casting, maybe catch a flight to my favorite vacation spot, spend the next week getting my team together, and then going full throttle in my business. But this is what happened. My last day on the job, I caught the flu. So I spent that week recovering. The next week, the world literally shut down. The week after that, my son's daycare closed. So not only did every single one of my plans fail, but all of my opportunities and engagements were canceled or delayed. Which also meant that I left the security of a stable job 2 weeks before millions and millions of people would be looking for one themselves. So what did I do? I made the adjustments. Instead of feeling like my timing was terrible, I read some books, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, I talked to a number of financial advisors, accountants, investors, learned how to trade in the stock market, and made more money than I lost because I made the adjustments. The way you're going to succeed going forward will be determined by your ability to adjust to the situations that present themselves. There are some of you that have been so discouraged by 2020 that you're just waiting for the year to be over so you can get to 2021. And what I want to tell you is to stay in the present, refocus, and make the adjustments. Because guess what? You can do it. So first, you have to accept where you are. Second, you have to make the adjustments to your situation. And third, and this is where you're really going to need some mental toughness. Third, you have to get acclimated to the new conditions. For about 8 years, I kept fish. And my favorite fish to keep were discus fish, a beautiful freshwater fish out of South America. And with all fish, discus and saltwater fish especially, you have to allow them time to get acclimated to their new environment before fully immersing them in the tank. They need this time because moving from one environment to another is stressful. They need this time because their system needs to adjust to this new environment. They need this time because they're about to be introduced into a completely different world. And because of the coronavirus, all of us have been immersed into a new world with new conditions, and it has caused many of us a great deal of stress. And in order for you to properly acclimate to this new reality, you need to take your time and allow your system to adjust to these new conditions so that you can get comfortable in the changes that you already made. See, we don't know when or even if we'll ever go back to how things used to be. So we have to get acclimated to how things are right now. We have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable so that we can continue on the journey to going where we want to be. Now watch this. Now that you accept where you are, you figured out how to adjust to the situation, and you've acclimated to the new conditions. Now you need to put your foot on the gas and accelerate. Too often people want to skip the process involved with change and try to accelerate only to find out that they're going to have to start all over because there was much more involved than they were prepared for because they skipped the process. But if you go through the process, if you allow yourself the time to learn and to grow, you'll be able to take off exponentially to accomplish your goals and to fulfill your vision. This is a perfect example of slowing down to speed up. Some seasons call for us to take a step back so we can take a leap forward. That's why this convention is so timely. They put together a cast of amazing speakers, of amazing trainers and visionaries who are going to help you get through these uncertain and tough times. So all we're asking you to do is stay close to your devices, to stay locked in, to believe in yourself, to believe in the vision, to believe in the training, to believe in the process. Because guess what? If it can be done, you can do it. So let's get it done.